On December 12, 2025, Vancouver Canucks star Quinn Hughes was traded to the Minnesota Wild with a lot of Jewish, Jesuit, and Catholic symbolism. This took place 59 days after Hughes' birthday. Minnesota Wild equals 59, the 17th prime, and he made his debut 2 days later, on the day leaving 17 days left in the year. Freemasonry equals 59, the 17th prime, and modern Freemasonry was founded in 1717. You could say it was a span of 60 days, and wild equals 60. This date was 12/12. 12 times 12 is 144, just like Jesuit order. He scored a goal in his debut, a 6-2 victory, a span of 62 days after his birthday. Quinn Hughes and Quinton Hughes both equal 62. He wears number 43, and this game was against the Bruins, which equals 43. Society of Jesus equals 191, the 43rd prime. Jesus was a Jew, which equals 43. Quinn Hughes' mother is Jewish, which technically makes him Jewish, and he made his debut on the first night of Hanukkah. Going the other way in the trade was Zeev Buyam, a Jewish player born on 12/7. Of course, that day is Pearl Harbor Day, and the new Pearl Harbor was an event where buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell down. Many people accuse Jews of orchestrating the event. Zeev Buyam equals 119, just like New Jersey, where Hughes' brothers play, and was the site of the Dancing Israelis on 9/11. He made his Canucks debut on the same day that Quinn Hughes made his Wild debut, and he also scored a goal. It just happened to be against New Jersey. Newark is on the 74th meridian. Jewish and Jesus equals 74, and Zeev Buyam's name in Hebrew gematria also equals 74. New York had the Twin Towers, and Minnesota has the Twin Cities. Remember, police were reportedly on George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, which is also the time that the first plane hit the towers. George Floyd equals 119, and his trial was initially set for September 11th. Zeev Buyam equals 47, and Building 7 was 47 stories tall. His Canucks debut was a span of 95 days after 9/11. Vancouver Canucks equals 95, the 34th semi-prime, and Jewish and Jesus equal 34. You could also say that's a span of 13 weeks and 4 days, and Tisha B'Av, the Jewish holiday to remember the destruction of the two temples, equals 134. It's also worth noting that the last major professional sports championship, won by a Minnesota team, was on 10/27 by the Twins. Zeros mean nothing in numerology, so this looks like 127. It's important to note that Interstate 35 runs through Minnesota. Catholic equals 35, and the Wild play in St. Paul, a city founded by a Catholic priest. Quinn Hughes' dad is Catholic, and Quinn Hughes and Catholic equal 46. Again, they made their debuts on their new teams on the first day of Hanukkah, which equals 149, the 35th prime. The common spelling of Hanukkah equals 141, the 46th semi-prime. The current star on the Wild is Kirill Kaprizov, and his last name equals 46. St. Paul MN equals 46, and St. Paul, Minnesota equals 199, the 46th prime. The trade took place a span of 231 days after his birthday, the 21st triangular number. Wild equals 21. George Perry Floyd also equals 231, and he died at age 46. St. Paul was incorporated on the 4th of March, a date that can be written 3/4 or 4/3. 34 and 43 are big numbers relating to Jesus, as already mentioned. That is the 63rd day of the year. 201 is the 63rd semi-prime, and the Jesuit order equals 201. This was in 1854, and Jesuit order equals 54. St. Paul is the capital of Minnesota, which became the 32nd state on May 11th, the 131st day of the year. 131 is the 32nd prime number, and there are 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo. St. Paul equals 32, and St. Paul, Minnesota equals 263, the 56th prime. Society of Jesus equals 56. What's interesting is that St. Paul will become 172 years old in a couple of months, and Quinn Hughes equals 172. The Jesuit motto, Ad Maiorem Dei Gloriam, equals 172.